Welcome to the afternoon experiment. Oh, it's been so long. It's been so long since I had an opportunity to come on and talk to everybody. I hope your day was good. My day's been pretty good. I finally got an opportunity to get out of what I was doing and come and spend a little bit of time talking to you guys. So that's always good. Well, like I said, welcome, welcome. I know it's been a minute, so it might take a while for people to realize that I am actually on today. The plan was to be on yesterday as well, but then at work I got caught up doing something because I presented an option that was just too good to not do, and it had to be done then. And so I didn't actually leave work yesterday till like 6:30, somewhere around in there. So I didn't have a chance to do the show yesterday, but I fully intended on it. But why dwell on the past? I'm here now. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I got a few things that I want to discuss. They're relatively older shows or older things, things that I wanted to discuss last week. Last week I wanted to discuss these things, but I didn't get an opportunity to. So I want to talk about them a little bit now. But before I do that, for those of you who tune in on the semi-regular basis that I'm on, um, first, good afternoon. But as usual, come on in, say hello to me, say good afternoon, say hello, and tell me where you are checking in from, where you're watching and or listening from. Tell me where you're watching or listening from. And I'll speak to you. And that's how we start the show. That's how we start the show. Excuse me. My throat is still not back 100% yet. It's still not 100% yet. It's much better, but not 100%. Excuse me. All right. So let's get to it. Let's do the hellos, because I want to say hi to all of y'all, and appreciate y'all patience. Those of you who are actually patient. There's one or two. I'm not saying no names. I'm not gonna say no names because I don't want to, put anything out there about anybody. But there's somebody who, if I was gonna say a name, it would rhyme with Smanthony, who might not be as patient as other people. Might not be as patient as other people. But I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not gonna say no names. Last name might rhyme with Dosser. If I were gonna say, but I'm not. I'm not saying any names. No names. Some people are not very patient. Black Lion. Hey, what's good with you? What's good with you? You didn't tell me where you're checking in from. That's one of the most important parts. LaDonna. LaDonna, good afternoon. Well, I can't believe it. Believe it. It almost didn't happen. So let's not even go into it. I'm here. Let's not dwell on the past. Robert Willis, as always, throws up the deuces. Anthony Prosser. It's about D time. No names. He's very patient, I'm sure. Let's see. Terry Anderson. Good afternoon from downtown. Good afternoon, Terry. Good afternoon. Got McConnell checking in. He says, "What's up, Emanuel?" Good afternoon, y'all, on this hot day. Can I tell y'all I'm loving the heat? Hold on. Let me walk that back a little bit. I'm loving that it's not cold. Yesterday was nice when it was cloudy. It was warm, it was cloudy, the sun wasn't beating down on me, and I was working outside actually, even though the job that I have is not an outside job. But we were doing some other stuff. And I was outside, I was like, this is a nice day. Cause y'all know me. I be out doing yard work. And I be out there and man, it's hot out here. I like the heat. I do. But sometimes it just be too hot. Sometimes it be too, and it ain't even like degrees wise or humidity wise. It's just when that sun is beating down on me. I don't know. I feel like I'm losing touch with my African roots. I feel like I'm losing touch with them. All of that. It is a nice day out though. Good freaking afternoon. Good freaking afternoon to you, Diane, as well. He comes back and he says, "Afternoon, fam." Maria, good afternoon, Maria. Good afternoon, Deborah. Glad to see you here. Good afternoon, Tria. Good to see you here. Deborah Simmons. I can't put up when y'all do like the emojis and stuff. That won't go up on the screen. But good afternoon. Tria says she's checking in from Columbia Township. Anthony says, I think that was fun. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Anthony. LaDonna's checking in from Price Hill. Andrea in the house, checking in from downtown at the office. Sabrina says, good afternoon from Kentucky. All right. Got David Martin. David Martin checking in from Hebron. McConnell says he's at Springdale at work welding. Oh, so you in the heat, creating heat. Wow. Brent, good afternoon. Checking in from Dallas. Got Dallas in the house. Janice in all caps. So you know that means she's yelling. She don't think that means she's yelling. But Janice, that means you yelling. What? You're here. Hi. That was like an excited. I gave you an excited yell and not a getting on your case yell. We got Tina in the house. Tina, good afternoon. Phyllis says, Phyllis didn't say anything. She just said, Emanuel and the afternoon experiment fam. I still, because the afternoon experience just rolled off so well. But as you can see, we're experimenting, so. Tessie, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Got Terry Coleman. Terry says, hey, from E-Town. Evanston. I'm the people who say Evanston. They put an I-N-G instead of the A-N because they're being really proper. Out in Evanston, it's like it's Evanston. Evanston, not Evanston. You don't sound proper when you say that. You just sound wrong. But Terry, good afternoon. Got Candy D. Candy D in the house from Coleraine Township. Tina says, look out. Emanuel Livingston is here. That's true. Phyllis in the house. Got Cam in the house. You know you ain't got no job. Diane says that son ain't no joke. Anthony says some of us in the black community hold other family standards and accountability. Let's see. Regina say, well, he's back. Good afternoon from Madisonville. Madville in the house. Let's see. Dwayne in the house from Mount Airy. Good afternoon, everyone from Mount Airy. What's going on? Let's see. Got Brenda Fairfield checking in. All right, Fairfield. You used to live out there. Everybody know that by now. I don't even have to keep saying it, but I do. I don't know why. Let's see. Scroll. I think that's about it. Did I get everybody? Eugene says, good afternoon from Poolside in Hollywood, Florida. I'm your friend from Lowe's. Oh, all right. Brother from Lowe's. I remember you. You in Hollywood, Florida? You went to the wrong Hollywood. Or maybe not. Hey, ain't we supposed to be like avoiding Florida? Like Florida's off limits? I don't think I'm participating in the travel advisory boycott thing. I don't think I'm participating in that. But I had no plans on going to Florida anyway. So oh, that's not true. I'll be in Florida in September. I'll be in Jacksonville in September. Should I boycott? It's for work. Gotta go make that money though, right? Gotta go make that money. Um, Phyllis says she's loving the science backdrop because we experiment. You know how it go. The little baby here. She's over here. You gonna wave to the people? No? You don't want to just stand here and look? No? Okay. She don't want to wave or nothing. Let me see. The young folks say E-Town, 3 for the E or exit 5. I never heard any of that. Karen says good afternoon from the West End. Eugene already had his money committed. Well, you know, hey, you can't beat that. You got to do what you got to do. Cam says there was just a mass shooting in Hollywood, Florida. He's in Fort Lauderdale. All right. Few people saying hey to the little baby. Shahara. She's it. I heard that. Yes, I did. Shahara says, afternoon, everybody. Well. Look who decided to show up and work today. You gotten used to listening to your Breakfast Club podcast. Oh, I don't know about that. Listen to no Breakfast Club. I'm not against the Breakfast Club. That guy, the main guy, I don't know why he irritates me. I don't know why he irritates me just a little bit. But hey, I'm all for everybody being successful. So I'm not against him. All right. Now let me put the chat overlay on. All other things that come up, they'll be there. Myosha, did I miss the Queen of Talk? Got to show up on time. No, she wouldn't go on the air. She wouldn't go on the air. McConnell says he's not wrong for agreeing with Lincoln. We'll get to that. I think you are kind of wrong. Let me see. It's been difficult. It's difficult to take a grown man seriously that manscapes his eyebrows. I don't have a problem with that man manscaping his eyebrows. I don't have a problem with that. All right, let's see. Let's get into this. I wanted to talk about, I'm going back. These are old stories that I'm going back to that I wanted to talk about that whole week that I ended up not being on. Okay? 11-year-old Mississippi boy who was shot by responding officers. Now remember what was it? Indianola, Mississippi. The boy was shot after he called 911. Well, you know, he's been released from the hospital. He's given like a whole statement, the whole nine. For those of you who may not know what I'm talking about, a young 11-year-old, he called 911 for a domestic disturbance in the home. When he got there, police told everybody, basically cleared the house, told him to come out with their hands up. He came out with his hands up, and the police officer still shot him in the chest. And apparently, all the little boy kept asking is, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? That's what the little boy wanted to know. And I blame us. Not for the little boy getting shot. That was that police officer. But I blame us for the question, what did I do wrong? I blame us for that. Because, look, the truth is, he did nothing wrong. We all know this, right? We all know this. And I'm sure this has been discussed to death, but I got to get this off my chest. We all know he did nothing wrong. We all know that you can do everything right and still get shot. That's not just a black thing. That's just a thing. It's just a thing. I think it is probably more prevalent with black people, but I can't say with 100% certainty that it is. I can't say with 100% certainty it is, but I feel like it is. But the discussions that we have about how black people, black males in particular, but black people interact with law enforcement, they always bother me. They always bothered me just for this reason. For this reason. Because the message that we send is that, what are you doing? what's you're making noises? What's that noise? The message that we send to black men, and it trickles down even to like really young black males, is that you can avoid this. There are certain things that you can do to make sure that this doesn't happen. And kind of by extension, if it happens to you, it's your fault. You did something wrong. Here, we're going to teach you how to respond when police approach. You keep your hands on the wheel, or you obey every order. If they tell you to do this, you do it. If they tell you to do that, then you do it. You did the, like we tell them there's a right way to act. And of course, when they act that right way and something still happens, like those of us who are older, we look at it and we realize ain't no right way to act to keep yourself from getting in trouble with police if they want to get you in trouble. You can do everything they say do and still get effed up. We know this. But an 11-year-old, if you've told him, do what police say do. Police are your friends. Police are here to help you. Police are here to this. The police are here to that. And they do what you told them to do and they still get shot. You know what they think? I must have did something wrong. I must have did something wrong. This is my fault. What did I do wrong? It's my fault that I got shot. What did I do wrong? And it's frustrating because I watch and I listen, and that's why I'm always saying, like, we send some bad messages. I know we're not intending to send these bad messages, but sometimes we send bad messages to people when we go to talking about this is the way that these people should act and this is the way you're supposed to respond. I think that's sending a bad message. I understand what you're trying to do, because that last little part, even if it gets said, because it doesn't always get said, but that last little part, y'all know how it go. This is what you do and this is what you do, and you keep your hands at 2 and 10 or whatever, and you don't make any sudden motions, and you say yes sir, and you say this. Even if you do all of that, that don't mean you not gonna get that last little part. Don't always get said, number one, and then when it does, it just gets lost. It gets lost, and you have so many people who make so many excuses for why it's okay for, when law enforcement makes a mistake. When law enforcement makes a mistake. I'm going to jump around a little bit. Because y'all know I watch the Lincoln Winter Show and sometimes participate. And he had Scotty Johnson on, who I like, by the way. I like Scotty Johnson. I think Scotty Johnson is, overall a good dude. I don't necessarily agree with his approach, though, a lot of the times. I don't like the idea of, let me say, I understand. He came on in light of violence in Cincinnati as a city councilman, but not necessarily as a city councilman, as a concerned black man who happens to be a former law enforcement official and is a current city council person. And this is going to happen a few times today. I agreed with his message. I didn't agree with the way the message was put out. I agree. If you know stuff is going on in the community, you should probably inform people who can do something about it. Like if I know that there's some beef going on and somebody planning to shoot somebody planning to do a drive-by, I'm going to probably be like, hey, I overheard these dudes talking, because that's the only way I would know. I overheard these dudes in Walgreens talking about doing a drive-by tomorrow at 3 o'clock on the corner of. Short of that, how do I know a drive-by is about to happen? And the problem that I have with the message that he was sending, which again, I agree. If you know this stuff, man, you got to If you really want to stop violence in the community, you got to, if you notice stuff, be willing to say something or take some action to stop it. I agree with that. I don't like the idea of beating up a portion of the community that the overwhelming majority, I would argue that the overwhelming majority of the people who listen to the buzz, who listen to the Lincoln Ware show, had no idea them boys was about to do a drive-by in Over the Rhine. That was Over the Rhine, wasn't it? They had no idea. They had no idea that a 14-year-old was about to get shot. No idea. But you fussing at me, telling me basically it's your fault that this keep happening because you should be telling. I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. Again, if I knew, I was in Walgreens and I heard some planning. Like, all right, we going to Evanston and we gonna light it up tomorrow at 3:14. We rolling through the 5 points and we just spraying everybody. And if a 14-year-old or a 7-year-old gets shot in the stomach, we don't give a damn. I would tell. I'd be like, hey, I heard some dudes talking about tomorrow at 3:14, 5 points, they gonna be spraying. And they don't care if a 7-year-old gets shot. Do something about it. I follow them out, and I'd be like, their license plate number was. I would tell. I would tell. But what's the chances of me overhearing that? What's the chances of that? So now you fussing at me because I don't tell you stuff that I don't know. I'm like, I don't like that. And again, I understand. I don't believe his heart was, let me fuss at these people. I don't think that's where his heart was coming from. But sometimes we have to understand what we doing when we do this stuff. What else would you have liked him to do? And this is, of course, where I get in trouble from some people. What I would have liked is for him to, if that's the way you operate, operate that same way when police do something wrong. Operate that same way when, you can't understand why some people won't snitch on other people. Because again, I agree with Raven. I agree with Raven's definition of snitching. It's always been my definition. It ain't snitching if I overhear these dudes in Walgreens talking about they gonna go spray somebody and I tell on them. That's not snitching. It's snitching if one of the dudes who done been involved in all of this crime and all of that stuff the whole time, and then he get caught, and then he telling everybody else. He snitched. Me, I'm not snitching, because I'm not a part of that. But you don't understand the concept of not snitching, and you was a police officer? Stop it. Stop it. You wholeheartedly understand the concept of not snitching. 100%, 200%, 300%, blue 100%. You understand the concept of not snitching. Because I can guarantee, no matter how good a police officer you are, no matter how, I'm going on a limb here. I can guarantee no matter how good of a police officer you are, you done seen some stuff and didn't tell. You saw a police officer do something that he ain't had no business doing, and you didn't tell. Even if you went up to him and said, yo, bro, that's wrong. You shouldn't take the little thugs' money out their pocket. Don't take their money. Like, if you're going to take their money, go and arrest them, put that money in evidence and all of that kind of stuff. That's the way you do it. Do it the right way. And then go report them. Guaranteed, if you're a law enforcement official, you've seen something. You've seen an officer treat a suspect in a way that they had no business doing it. They were discourteous, and you didn't go and do a report on them. You didn't go to internal affairs and say, my partner, James, was discourteous to this woman, and she was distraught, And I understand he was frustrated, but there was some discourtesy there that shouldn't have happened, and he needs additional training. Guaranteed you didn't, you've seen it. If you've been a police officer for more than 3 days, you've seen some stuff and you didn't snitch. So don't tell me you don't understand. Don't snitch. You understand it. And since you know that it happens, why you ain't all over the place on the air, at roll call? I don't know if they actually do roll call. We see that on TV. I don't know if that's real. At the union meetings, lecturing them. Doing a clarion call. It's a clarion call. If we gonna fix policing, we need you to do it. But you don't hear that. I don't actually expect to hear that. I don't want to hear it to the black community, and especially to a portion of the black community that ain't got no idea what's going on. People theorizing, I think it's teenagers. Oh, I think it's young 20-something-year-olds. Oh, I think it's beefs. Oh, I think it's gangs. Oh, I think it's this. We don't know. But we getting fussed at because we ain't telling stuff that we don't know. I told this story a long time ago. This is a 100% true story. Even when you know and you tell, it don't mean they gonna do nothing. I had dope boys, drug dealers. They would sit in the car across the street from my house. For real, across the street from my house. Sit in the car. And some of these, actually it would be a lot of white dudes. They would come up in their work truck and buy whatever it is that they were selling. And sometimes they would do it right there in front of my house. I'm on the other side of the street, but that's still in front of my house. I live in a little cul-de-sac. And right in front of my house, they would do drugs and then drive off and go to work. It would be early in the morning. It would be in the afternoon. It would be in the evening. And sometimes they would be there late at night. I called the police. I said, it's some drug dealers. They park across the street from my house and they sell drugs. And people come up, they pull up behind them, they get out, they exchange the drugs for the money, and then the people either sit there and do the drugs or they drive off with the drugs. They asked me my address, all of that kind of stuff. I gave them all the information they wanted. Never saw a police officer. All I know, it might have been an undercover come through at some point, but whoever it was, they didn't do anything about it. I called them back. I mean, this went on for months. Not days, weeks, months. I called back. You know what they told me? Again, true story. They said probably the best thing for you to do, because there's nothing we can do about it. Probably the best thing that you can do. Just walk across the street and ask them to move down the street if you don't want them in front of your house. Yeah, I'm not joking. This is what police told me. On the line. I don't know if they record. I didn't call 911. I don't know if they recorded or not. But if you could get the recordings, you'd hear law enforcement telling me, best thing you can do is I would just go across the street and ask him to move down the street. Well, I didn't want him to just move down the street. I wanted him out of here. I talked to a few law enforcement officials that I know. And if they're honest, they know they told me this. You probably should just go ask them to move. That's what I would do. I would just say, don't be, because you don't want to get into nothing with them. Don't tell them you called the police and none of that kind of stuff. Just go ask them to move down the street. Me, and that's what I did. Hey, bro, I don't know what you're doing. I'm not here. That's not my, but can you move a street over or something else? Can you not do this right in front of my house? And the brothers wasn't rude or nothing. They kind of looked at me like, whatever, nigga, but they we hear you. We hear you. Nobody pulled out a gun and showed it to me. Nobody stuck nobody, threatened me. None of that kind of stuff. It was we hear you. And that's it. That's where it ended. And then eventually, Months later, they kind of stopped showing up. Actually, what happened was one of them parked a car in front of the house that's next to me. And then the police eventually came by and they ran the tags on the car. And then that car disappeared. And that's when I stopped seeing them. But that's the truth. TRUFE. That is 100% the truth of what happened. Can I download that? Let me see. All right, I'm going to download it. Sorry, y'all. I gotta make the little baby happy. All right, it's downloading. You're not gonna say thank you or not? You're not gonna thank me? But that's the truth. That's what happened. So to say, oh, if you see something, say something. Oh, if you know what's going on, if you see this stuff, then you tell her, what was I supposed to do? Short of telling the police, because I did. And every once in a while, I would go when they would sell them something and then they would pull off and the work truck would still be sitting there. I would call and be like, hey, car number, whatever. He's sitting outside my house doing drugs right now. And I would go tell them, get off my street. I was a little more aggressive with them. Older white guys. Almost exclusively older white dudes in their work trucks. Now, it was other people came in other vehicles. But what else was I supposed to do? But I'm getting fussed at. If you know something, say something. It's going to take all of us. Why y'all sitting here? If we want to do this thing, y'all, come on. Don't fuss at me. Don't fuss at me. Talk to me. Help me help. But don't tell me to tell if telling ain't gonna do nothing but get me told to go handle it myself. LaDonna wanna know, how many years ago was this? Oh, this might have been maybe 3 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago. 3 to 5 years ago. Somewhere in there. It wasn't that long ago. So I don't like the whole fussing at the community, and especially the portion of the community that don't know. Look, here's who you can fuss at, and I wouldn't have no problem with that. When one of these guys get arrested because you have to imagine that eventually it's going to happen. One of these guys get arrested for that drive-by. Go fuss at their family. Find out who they are and go to their family reunion. You know what I'm saying? And you can be at the family reunion. Now you got a right to fuss until you can't fuss no more. Your son, your grandson, your nephew, your cousin was out there spraying bullets. And y'all, some of y'all knew it. Some of y'all, y'all relative. You go to the family reunion. Go to the Jenkins family reunion, and that's when you can fuss at the people because they knew and didn't say nothing. I got a feeling you're not going to do that, though. I got a feeling that's not going to happen. Just a feeling. It's safe to fuss at us, though. It's safe to fuss at us. But I don't know who they are. And I'm not, look, y'all. I'm not saying that I disagree with the message. I just think you give the message to the right people. Because then you make it sound look, if I'm not a part of the community, if I'm not a part of the community and I'm listening to that portion of that show on that day, you know what I probably think? At least what I imagine. I imagine what's the KKK dude to be listening to the show? What's the KKK dude to be listening to the show? I can't think of his name. I ain't even talking about the White Lion, but him too. But you know what they thinking? All these ends know. All these ends know. The other ends, the selling drugs, they're all a part of it. It's all their sons and it's all their daughters, and they all see it because their community is okay with it. Why would they think that? Because somebody from the community is on the radio basically telling everybody that everybody in the community know what's going on, but don't nobody want to say nothing because we accept it. That's not true. Yes, Brent. Craig. But we don't know. We don't accept it. And what can we do? Hold on, let me block this person. But I have a problem with it, even though, like I said, I kind of agree with the idea that if you know that bad stuff is going on, then you should say something. If you know, then you should say something. If I got tipped off, I would say something. I just don't know how common that is. But we put out so many messages that make it look like we all are in agreement with this stuff. But you think about you. I just saw a message from myself and others who own property on Livingston. That sounds like a good street. In the West End, have been working with city council, CPD, and everyone else for 3 years to deal with open air drug market, and they still have not done anything. They put up a blockade and basically made our street Amsterdam. But the idea, if you know, just tell. If you know, just tell. It's going to take all of us. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. There are people who see stuff and tell. But it's the same stuff that y'all see. Like that dude sitting outside selling drugs across the street from my house. No doubt in my mind, the police see stuff like that. They see stuff like that, but to put it out there like we all agree. We all agree. We all just turn a blind eye and accept it. That's not true. And we put messages out like that. If you do what the police say do, just put your hands up. You'll be fine. We find out somebody got shot. Some people. See, I'm buying into it. Some of us, we find out somebody got shot. And there's always somebody. There's always somebody to be like, he should have dealt with people. I bet he was dealing drugs. I bet he was this. I bet he was that. You don't know. But the narrative out there is if the police do something to you, you must have did something wrong. And that's what that little boy thought. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Little boy, you did nothing wrong. Nothing. It's not your fault. And I wish people, excuse me, I wish people would stop putting the message out that we such a wrong community. Even when they trying to help, just try to pay attention to the message that you're putting out there. Yes, McConnell, I agreed with Lincoln to this degree. Man, if law enforcement had been there when those guys went riding by shooting, hopefully they would have been able to step in and do something to stop it. I don't take it though to that next level. Which I know when I called Lincoln, who said that? McConnell says, and you if you want to be honest, then you can tell the people I'm not making this up. McConnell says, all right, yeah, the crime is over, but when they find them, just execute them on sight. Even if they not being a threat to anybody at that point, because as far as he's concerned, they don't care about the community or lives and innocent lives in the community, so we shouldn't care about their lives. So we should just execute them on sight. And I'm like, come on. Come on. Thank you, McConnell, for at least admitting it. Because some people wouldn't admit it. And they'd be like, see, you take stuff to the next level. Ain't nobody said that. And I don't agree with that. Look, I understand the idea that you don't care about our community. We don't care about you. And look, if this was the thing that was said about everybody, I'd be with it. No, I wouldn't. Not really. But at least I would understand it more. I would understand it more. I don't hear nobody calling for the execution of people who did the January 6th thing. When you catch them, execute them. Those people was looking to hang a dude. They were looking to kill somebody. They didn't care about him. Why should we care about them? But ain't nobody gonna say that. When you find them, just execute them. Nobody says that kind of stuff. Very few people ever say that kind of stuff about white criminals. Lincoln Ware actually said, oh, I wish I was just sitting there with an AK-47 when they start shooting so I could shoot and kill them all. A dude went into a black church and murdered people. And I didn't hear Lincoln Ware say, oh, I wish I would have been in that church with an AK-47 to murder him. Nobody says that kind of stuff about white criminals. Or at least, I don't hear it. Like, come on, y'all. And I know, I get the idea that they're killing people, and so they don't care about our community, and so we shouldn't care about them. But you gotta think, or at least I would like to think, that you can think longer term about stuff like that. Let's play this out, just for a moment. Just for a moment, let's play this out. So we authorize law enforcement to catch a person suspected of a crime and execute them on sight. First, even just saying that out loud should make you say, okay, that's stupid. That's stupid. But I'm not talking about catching a person who's a suspect. I'm talking about catching a person who you know did it. All right, let's roll with that. Let's ignore the fact that they're a suspect until we prove that they did it. So let's just say we know Lenny Jenkins was in the car. Lenny was in the car. He was firing. They catch Lenny. Let's authorize law enforcement to execute Lenny on sight. Again, saying that out loud, you should be like, okay, yeah, no, that's not reasonable. That's not reasonable. Oh, but Lenny didn't care about our kids. I don't care if Lenny cared about our kids. Is that what we want to be? As a society, that's what we want to be. And keeping in mind what we know about people with power. Keeping in mind what we know about people with power. If they can go get Lenny and execute Lenny, they can go get the next dude and execute him. Well, you said they could do it. You authorized them that it was okay. You think that power just stays in check? They do it now and they don't have the authority to do it. Like, long term. And I don't, saying that is not a, oh, I'm tough on crime type of, that's just nonsense. It's nonsense. And it does, believe it or not, send a message. I don't care what message it sends to other communities. Guess what? It's a whole lot more people in these other communities. And you're shaping the way they think about you and me. When you're telling them, when you're sending them the message that everybody in that community, they know what's going on, and they just okay with it. And then we hear Craig saying, that we savages. And now we mad at Craig for saying that we savages. But we just sent, not intentionally, but we just sent the message to Craig that we're savages. Because we all know what's happening and we all agree with it and none of us say anything about it. Come on, y'all. Come on. We a lot of us accidentally send messages to people. And we got 11-year-olds getting shot, didn't do anything wrong, but just know he did something wrong. Why does he know that? Why is he so confident that he did something wrong? Because we done sent him that message 1,000,000 times. I don't know a drug dealer to my knowledge. I don't know a dude doing drive-bys to my knowledge. I've had no pre-warning of any drive-bys happening. None. But I'm at fault. Now again, when they arrest these guys, go to their house. Go to their family reunion. Find out who their friends and cousins are. And then go lecture them. And I'm not one of the precogs. You know what I'm saying? I don't get visions of crimes that's about to happen so that I can call the police and tell them. What am I supposed to do? Oh, that's right. Just volunteer. Volunteer at a community organization. And I'm not saying that to say volunteering is a bad thing. Volunteering is a great thing. Working with kids is very rewarding. It's very rewarding. But I've always thought that it's possible that maybe the kids that's still in a car, loading up guns, driving by a neighborhood, spraying bullets, are possibly not going to the community center at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. I've always thought that. I guess it could be. Like, hey, bro, while we loading our guns to go spray 5 points, hey, man, what you doing? This is them loading their clips. Hey, man, what you doing tomorrow morning? Nigga, I'm going over to the Evanston Community Center. They got this game where you kick the ball and you do your best to, make sure that the ball don't hit the ground. So I'm gonna be over there hanging out from 10 till noon. You know what I'm saying? With Miss Sally. I love Miss Sally. She cool in the mug. Miss Sally cool in the mug. What you doing tomorrow? Oh, nigga, I'll be over there on so-and-so street working at the Boys and Girls Club, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You got love them little shawties. I don't want to see them little shawties make it. I don't want to. In my mind, that conversation is not happening. In my mind, that conversation is not happening. Them dudes, they ain't worried about Miss Sally at the community center. Now, again, I'm not saying don't That's great. And you might be able to steer some future dudes away from that life. But when you're talking about dealing with the situation as it's going on right now, that's not going to stop Lenny from getting in that car, spraying bullets that accidentally hit a 7-year-old. It's not. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't do it. Yeah, I want y'all to pay attention to how I'm trying to make sure I don't send the wrong message. Like, I say what I say, but I understand a message that could be gotten from that is don't volunteer because it's not helpful. So I try to make sure that I go back over it and say, I'm not saying don't do it because it is helpful. I love working with the little kids. I do. When I've done it and when I do it, I love it. It's very fulfilling. And, you know what I'm saying, the kids love me. The kids love me. Eventually. So go do it. And you might be able to stop a future Lenny. You stop a future Lenny. Lenny ain't got time to recruit him because he at the center. Playing that game to keep the ball from hitting the ground. And that's wonderful. But Lenny probably ain't there. That's all I'm saying about that. 513, hold on, I hope I didn't miss a call. Okay, no. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. Am I off base so far? Because if I'm off base, I want you to call me and correct me. I saw Ben. I saw Ben on there. He was saying something. I missed what he said. But I know he don't necessarily agree with my position. Ben, call me. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. I'll take criticism. Show me where I'm wrong. I'm always willing to learn. I don't think I'm wrong on none of this stuff. I don't think I'm wrong on nothing I've said so far. But I'm willing to listen. And with regard to Lenny and them running around, spraying bullets, shooting innocent people. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I want to do something about it. But what can I do? I don't know Lenny. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little afraid of Lenny. If I pull up next to Lenny at the stoplight, I'm probably not going to say a damn thing. Lenny is frightening. Lenny got a gun. Lenny, I saw some of them guns sticking out the window. They didn't look like my gun. They didn't look like, you know what I'm saying, a 45. They looked quite automatic. I don't have the firepower to handle Lenny. So I hope y'all not want me. Look, I was pushing the limit when I went out and said to them boys across the street, like, hey, I don't know what y'all doing. Can y'all not do that in front of my house? Like, I got kids here. I didn't actually have no kids there. I was lying. I was trying to play on their emotions. My daughter had moved out by then. Every once in a while, the grandbaby was here, but I didn't really have no kids. But they didn't know. Who are they? Investigators? What's their names? What's their birth date? No, the day they was born. They probably didn't. They didn't know. But I had to play on their emotions. I got kids here. I don't want them to see this. And then you got guys doing drugs right here in front of my street. It's dangerous. That was me pushing that was like pushing some boundaries. Because if one of them would have pulled something out, I'd have just been effed up. In all honesty, I don't know what I would have did if he just said, nigga, get the fuck away from my car, nigga. All right, I'm out. I apologize for approaching you and disturbing your business. I don't know what I would have said. I don't. I shouldn't have been put in that situation. I don't blame the police for that. I blame that dude for that. Them dudes that was buying the drugs. Those are who I blame for it. But I shouldn't have been put in that position. They're bad. They're bad people. There are bad people in the world. And some of them are in the black community. I don't know how we deal with them. I don't know how you stop Lenny and them from spraying bullets. I don't know. I don't like Lenny and them. I mean, on a one-on-one basis, they, sometimes they kind. You know what I'm saying? You don't even necessarily know. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They not your kids. In my mind, I would know if my son was out there spraying bullets. I think I would have some idea. I'll be up in his room one day like, man, where did this long-ass clip come from, boy? What are you into? Something. Do I smell gunshot residue? Something I would like to think I would have an idea. Oh, you're such a kind boy. Like, what? You was out there shooting? I had no idea. Nah, I think I would know. I remember when my son was a young man. High school. And I'd be like, I don't really think you should be hanging around him. Why? His vibe ain't right. He the kind of dude that'd do anything. And my son would be like, he is crazy, daddy. Then why are you hanging with him? Don't hang with people that you know are crazy. And not crazy like has a mental disorder crazy, but like that other crazy. Like that nigga crazy. That crazy. Hey. Don't fuck with him. He crazy. That kind of crazy. Why are you hanging with the dude that you know that's that kind of crazy? Stop. What am I supposed to do, daddy? When he call and say, hey, what you doing? You always doing something. I'm hanging out with my daddy. I'm practicing football. I'm playing the video game. You always busy until he get tired of calling you saying what you doing. Because you don't want to end up in a car with an automatic weapon with a long clip spraying bullets at people you don't even know. I would like to think I would know. You can tell by the type of person that they are and by the type of people that they hang with and the stuff that they do. You can tell. At least I think so. So then who do the blame go on? So then who do the blame go on? Because we want to assign blame. I want to assign blame. I like assigning blame. So who gets the blame? The parents. Yeah, the parents. The overwhelming majority of the blame go to the parents. But do you really think that the parents care about getting the blame? Do you really think they care? Those parents, they don't give a damn what you got to say or what you think. I raised Lenny. I raised Lenny to be exactly like Lenny is. They might not ever say that, but that's what happened. In my mind, anyway, the majority of the time, Lenny mama is almost just like Lenny. Just a female version of Lenny. And then what do you do? What do you do? You can't just go snatching people's kids because they got bad attitudes. Because, look, the truth of the matter is, based on some of the stuff that I've seen, I've been able to see, look, yeah, I'm just trying to be honest. I'm just trying to be honest now, right? I've seen little kids as young as, I'm trying to think, this little baby, as young as 6. Well, I'll be worried. I'll be worried in a mug. At the little baby graduation, there is a family. There's one little kid who is he's a bully in the class anyway. And then at the graduation, when his family showed up, and I have to admit, they was proud in the mug. They was proud in the mug. They didn't believe he was going to do it. They didn't know that he would make it, but he did it. It's preschool, but they didn't think he was going to make it, but he did it. And they came, I don't want to be disrespectful to women or to a certain type of, because, I can be classist and all of that kind of stuff. I can be. And I'm trying to not be, but I'm trying to be honest at the same time. When that whole family walked in, I don't know about nobody else, but I said, that little kid is in trouble. He's 6 years old. He already a bully with no remorse. And his family look like the kind of people. How do you look like that kind of people, Emanuel? The way they dress, the way they talk, the way they act. And I'm not just talking about being loud from the perspective of they cheered like it was their high school graduation from a kid that they really didn't think was going to make it. I'm talking about before the ceremony, during the ceremony, and after the ceremony. Just loud for no reason loud. Walk into the little gym. Hey, girl, what you doing? What you doing? Shit, I ain't seen you in how long it's been? Shit. I'm like, it's little kids in here. Why are y'all talking that loud and saying all that stuff? That kind of loud. And that was a pleasant greeting. And I'm looking like, this kid is in trouble. This kid is in trouble. And okay, his daddy had tattoos on his face. That don't necessarily mean anything. That don't necessarily mean anything. Okay, he wore sunglasses the entire time he was inside. That don't necessarily mean anything. For all I know, he blind. You know what I'm saying? That don't necessarily mean anything. His entire ass was showing. Well, I mean, he had his drawers on, but his entire ass was showing. But that don't necessarily mean anything. It's fashion, style. Every third word was a cuss word, but that don't necessarily mean anything. It may be lack of education or, he just in that vibe. But you put all of that stuff together and other stuff that I'm probably just not thinking of right now. You're like, ooh, he get it from his daddy and his mama. The little boy is in trouble. But what do you do? What do you do? You can't just walk in and snatch the kid like, we don't like the way y'all talk. We don't like the way y'all act. We don't like the way, yes, act, AKK. We don't like the way y'all talk. We don't like the way y'all act. We don't like the way that y'all carry yourselves. We taking this kid. You can't do that. You can't do that. Your Honor, shit, nigga, I just want no fuck I did wrong for y'all to come and take my motherfucking kid, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to run into that situation. Then Your Honor be like, what did they do wrong? Well, sir, we don't like the way they act. We can't. The way they carry themselves, he's already a bully, Your Honor. He's got on sunglasses in court. That don't hold up in court. That don't hold up in court. So what do you do? What's the answer? You can't take the kids, even when you see what you perceive to be warning signs. Now look, for all I know, this little kid, well, I don't know his name. This little kid might turn out to be the next black president. He might overcome all of that. He might. I'm not confident that he will, because he already showing signs at 6. My point is, Lenny was raised to be that way. So we all run around talking about everybody know right from wrong. He know right from wrong. You shouldn't have did it. He know right from wrong. Lenny know that y'all consider this shit wrong. Oh, and y'all wondering about my language. The little baby left. She been gone for a minute. Lenny know y'all might consider this shit wrong. But shit. That's all the explanation you need. That say everything. Lenny, did you know that your actions were wrong? Y'all might consider it wrong, but shit. Okay, we understand. Because Lenny don't see it as wrong. Lenny see it as a way of life. How do you stop that? How do you break that up? I mean, in my mind, best thing to do is, you know what I'm saying, take little kid from them parents, but you can't do that. So then what? You need counselors and stuff to kind of stay involved, keep monitoring, maybe try to filter this little kid to that recreation center where they play the game to keep the ball from hitting the floor with Miss Sally, you know. But short of somebody just completely taking on that responsibility, what's going to happen is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but what's going to happen is going to happen. That's why I said I don't have the answers, but I do know that it's not the majority of the community that's okay with it. We just got our hands up in the air like, what do we do? What do we do? Just bump my elbow. It's okay. I'm a tough dude. But I don't wanna send the message that our community is like this. There are a lot of messed up people in the world. A lot of messed up people in America. And some of them happen to be in the black community. And I think the only thing we can do, this is going to sound nonsensical, because it is. But I think the only thing that we can do is what we can do. From my perspective, yes, I work with some little kids. Not consistently. Like, I'm not at some rec center every week. But I work with some little kids. But more than anything, she's back, by the way. I got this little baby. I would not allow her mama, not that she is, but I wouldn't allow her mama, excuse me, to raise her that way. We just got into it today about being polite and mannerable. Because she's going to be polite. She's going to be mannerable. She's going to be intelligent. She's going to be driven. She's going to be a thinker. She's going to question everything. She's going to have good morals and values. And from my perspective, that's the most important thing that I can do. All the other stuff, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You do what you can do and you try and all of that kind of stuff. I don't have time in my life to go find the little kid and try to wrestle him away from his parents to be the influence that he needs. I don't know where that little kid live. I don't even know his name. (513-717-5464). I just want us to stop acting like this is the black community and we all seeing it and turning a blind eye to it because we don't care. We care. You can't fault parents for their behavior, but you can blame them for their child's behavior. Skipping school, bullying, failing grades, multiple incidents of crime. Those things they can be held responsible for. But I do want us to understand that a lot of this stuff is parenting. I know we say it all the time. A lot of it is parenting. How do you punish parents? You can punish parents kind of possibly, potentially, punish parents once something has happened. We can kind of shame them before something has happened, but you can't really punish them before anything has happened. And like bad parents sometimes kind of begat bad kids who then grow up to be bad parents who then begat bad kids. And that cycle continues. And how do you pull kids out of that cycle? You got to be in their lives. And, you know, who got time? Who got time? I'm too busy over here punching this one in the throat to go over there and punch somebody else's kid in the throat. I know if I punch her in the throat, I'm good. We good. Her throat hurt for a minute. If I punch that other little kid in the throat, I might get shot. He go home, he punched me in the throat. I'm joking, but I'm not really joking. Like I have punched her in the throat. Not hard though. Not hard though. But you got to be able to be around kids enough to have that influence. And then, y'all noticed how I've skipped over Lenny? And I'm back to talking about kids. I don't know how to reach Lenny. Maybe some of these people who, you know, y'all hear them. I don't want to say no names because I don't want to, you know, nobody to threaten to murder me tomorrow. But some of these people who have lived a certain life that maybe they know how to reach the Lennys of the world. I don't know that they do, but they apparently think they do. So, okay, let them go out there and maybe reach Lenny. But for me, I can't reach Lenny. Somebody said, who is Lenny? Lenny is kind of what an amalgamation of all of the negative traits in some of these young black men in particular, the ones who are running around spraying bullets, doing drive-bys, selling drugs, and all the negative traits that we don't care for. That's who Lenny is. I just gave it a name. I don't know how to reach Lenny. I told y'all, and people think I'm crazy. See, I don't have a Lenny. I don't have a Lenny. My kids aren't Lenny. I'm not afraid of my kids. Not afraid at all of my kids. I'm kind of afraid of Lenny. Given the right situation or the wrong situation, I'm a little afraid of Lenny. I just saw Lenny leaning out of a car with what looked like a damn Uzi. And now you want me to step to Lenny? Lenny just finished showing me that he don't care about spraying up a whole block to get a person. In my mind, it was one person that they wanted to get, and they didn't mind spraying up a whole block to get that one person. And you want me to step to Lenny? What if Lenny find out where I live? Who gonna protect me? Scotty? Police gonna protect me if I step to Lenny? If I see Lenny out there and I'm like, that's Lenny, and I snatch Lenny, take his gun away, I got your Uzi. Nigga, now what? Now you need to be polite. Stop shooting people. I don't know what your mama taught you, but I'm going to teach you something different. Eventually, Lenny going to get up. Because I'm not like Lincoln and McConnell. I'm not killing Lenny on spot. I'm going to try to talk to Lenny. But when Lenny get up, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Lenny might leave, but Lenny remember what I look like. And now I'm for real worried about Lenny seeing me, catching me in traffic. Police gonna protect me? Because I tried to step up and do the right thing. Some of us are not equipped. I am not equipped to pull Lenny off the street and change his life. Nigga, Lenny, you gonna act right, nigga. You gonna act right. You hear me? You gonna act right. They tell me you have to talk to him like that. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? Because the life that they done lived, that's they tell me you can't be polite. You gotta talk to him. Nigga, you gonna listen to me, nigga. You living the wrong life. You gonna change, nigga. You gonna change. Lenny, you hear me? You hear me, nigga? You gonna change. I got a feeling if I do that and Lenny catch me in traffic, Lenny already showed me he don't mind shooting up a whole block to get one dude. What are my chances in traffic? Drive, nigga, drive. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what everybody expect people like me and like you to do. We think about it. We don't like it. If we see something, we say something. But we don't really see nothing. We don't see nothing. We don't see this stuff. You go volunteer with Pastor Mingo. And I'm going to go down, Lenny, I'm going to pray for you, nigga. I'm going to pray for you, Lenny. Lenny like, yeah, okay. Go yeah, all right, pray for me, whatever. Next thing, they loading their clips. This nigga was praying for me. Yeah, he just let me pray for you. I let him pray for me. What's prayer gonna do? You know what I'm saying? It didn't hurt nothing. Yeah, he was praying. He was praying hard too. You know what I'm saying? Like he really thought that shit was gonna change my life. Like in the name of Jesus, like, that changed my life. Lenny don't care about that, probably. Who need to go volunteer with Pastor Mingo? Maybe the people who done lived that life. Maybe them the ones that need to go volunteer. I'm not equipped. No, McConnell. No. Lenny don't have to go. Lenny just need the right person, hopefully, to reach him. Or Lenny need to maybe go to jail where he's no longer a threat to the greater society. I'm okay with Lenny going to jail if that's what needs to happen. But no, Lenny don't need to be executed on sight. No. Again, I'm not here with answers. I'm just here to say that I don't like some of the stuff that's happening and some of the messages that we send in, and we should try to be more clear when we send in these messages. Who we fussing at. It turns people off. What else? There was something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh, I can't remember what the something else was. But what else is going on? What else is going on out there? Well, they say Donald Trump might be charged by the end of this week for that document piece. He might get charged by the end of the week. Oh, DeAndre. I'm glad you brought that up, DeAndre. Believe it or not, I believe by the end of the week, I will have my shirts. My TikTok player shirts. I believe I will have them by the end of the week. So just stay tuned. And I'm not sure how you guys will be able to get them. But I believe I will have them by the end of the week. But I'll work all the rest of that stuff out. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to, so y'all can, save up a little bit of money to get some merch. Oh, you need a hoodie? Yeah, all right. I can definitely do some hoodies. But I'm going to do the shirt and I'll wear it. Y'all will see it when I wear it. So this is the only time I'm going to mention it. And the next time that y'all, that it becomes a part of your consciousness, I'll be wearing my TikTok player shirt. And I'm working on my BAP shirt. But see, here is the look, when I wear it, then yeah, I can guarantee it like the next day. Well, I won't guarantee the next day, but within a couple days. When I wear it, I'll be able to guarantee it in a couple days. I'm working on the BAP shirt. But see, here's the only issue with the BAP shirt. Every design that I come up with feels like it's promoting domestic violence. And I'm trying to come up with a design that is like not promoting or don't even look like it could be promoting domestic violence. And I know if I wear, like if I showed y'all the first, I think 8 designs that I did, y'all would get it. And y'all would be like, I want one of those shirts. But I showed it to somebody who had no idea about the Jimmy the Vet story. And they was like, so you in favor of domestic violence? And I'm like, no. And then I'm trying to explain the story. And then once I explain the story, they like, oh, okay, I like the shirt. I'm like, but if the first impression is you support domestic violence, that's bad. So I'm trying to come up with a design that doesn't look like it promotes domestic violence. But I fear any design I come up with it's going to look like it promotes domestic violence. That is my fear. That is my fear. And for those of you like, I don't know what he's talking about, BAP. You have to remember what happened or have to see the video clip to understand. But yes, by the end of the week, I will have that shirt. The first one, TikTok player. How about BAP design like old school Adam West Batman? No matter what I come up with, it looks like I'm promoting violence, and typically domestic violence. Because the part that I remember was, this is so not funny. It is so not funny. Stop, little baby. Stop laughing. The part that I remember was, you see this? BAP. That's the part that I remember. That's the part. Who does that? You see this? Why would they have to acknowledge your hand before you hit them? That never made sense to me. But anyway, so everything that I see reminds me of that. And I'm like, that's not a good look. That is not a good look. But the TikTok player shirts, end of the week. End of the week. Oh, let's see. What was I about to talk about? I started to talk about something, and then y'all threw me. And I don't remember. Reese says, sorry, it is funny. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Who does that? You see this? That's what he said. He told her. You see this? Oh, that's terrible. That is not fun. Little baby, that is not funny. Oh, okay, hold on. I got a call coming in. Come on, get over there. There we go. Let's see if we can make this work. CK?
Hey, how you doing, Emanuel?
I'm doing good, and you?
Man, I listened to your show about Lenny. You were talking about Lenny.
Okay, something is going on with your phone.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
I can hear you. It's got a little something, but go ahead. We'll work through it.
Oh, no, my bad, man. I was just telling you got a good ass show, man. You were talking about Lenny Kravitz and Lenny Williams and stuff.
You might have misunderstood who Lenny was.
Yeah, Lenny. I was like, he using an old name for the young cats. That Lenny old. That got to be Lenny Jr. or something. I was like, man, I know you're trying to help the youngsters, like you said.
Okay, hold on. I'm having such a hard time understanding what you're saying. Do me this favor.
Oh.
Hang up and call me right back. Sometimes that fixes it.
All right.
I don't know about nobody else, but I was having such a hard time understanding it. Yeah, it did. It sounded really bad. So hopefully he calls right back, and we can understand what he's saying. No, don't let me do that and do that. I wanted him to call right back. I don't know what happened. Anyway, what was I talking about? Y'all know, as soon as I start talking about something else, that's when what is so hard about? Because I imagine it's a smartphone. You just hit the red button, and then you go and you hit the green button. CK.
Yeah, how it sound now?
It still sounds weird. But
Oh, that's just a broke phone, man. But just let me give you props for the show. You know what I'm saying? I get back on the good line, man. But hey, I just calling about Lenny anyway, man. That was a good ass show. Good premise.
all right. Hey, I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Oh,
All right.
yes, sir. Have a great one, sir.
You do the same. All right. I don't know what's going on with his phone, but all right. Hopefully he'll get it working and everything will be all good. Um Donald Trump. They're talking about him possibly being charged in that the where he took the documents. They're talking about him possibly being charged by the end of this week. And they say that this case is like the case that's most likely, if there's any other cases, you know, the one in New York, the one in Georgia, any of the cases, they say that this is the one, if there's anyone most likely for him to actually end up, say, in jail. Now, I'll be honest. I find it hard to root for anybody to go to jail. I find it difficult to root for anyone to go to jail. Because I'm just not into that. I'm just not into that. I will say, look, if you did the crime and you're convicted of it and the punishment is jail, so be it. But I really do have a hard time rooting for someone to go to jail. Of course, unless they did something to me. Now, if you did something to me, I probably want your ass to go to jail. I don't care what it is. Hold on, you said that I said what? I didn't say that. Hope your ass go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm different when it comes to me. I admit that. It's not consistent, but it's real. But other than that, I don't root for people to go to jail. But if he did it, then he goes to jail. If he did what they're claiming that he did, and the best that I can understand what they're saying, it's not necessarily, which is, I heard, I'm gonna put Ben's comment up here because it plays a part. Ben says, should him and Biden be cellmates? No, because my understanding is what they did is different for a few reasons. Potentially. They're not necessarily saying we gonna get him just because he took and had the documents. That's not necessarily what they're saying. They're saying, look, he took the documents. He had the documents. We reached out to him. We said, hey, bro, we need them documents. He said, okay, I'll get y'all the documents. He gave us some documents, but he didn't give us all the documents. And then they said, bruh, you gave us some documents, but you didn't give us all the documents. And then he said, you know, I might give y'all them documents. I might not. Let's talk about it. And they said, all right, let's talk about it. And so for months, they was talking back and forth like, bro, you going to give us the documents? He like, make me want to give you the documents. They like, well, we think you should give us the documents because of this. And he's like, I'm not sure if that's powerful enough. They negotiated for months. And eventually they like, bruh, damn all this. Give us the damn document. And he like, all right, look, I'm going to give y'all the documents. Then he gave him some more documents. And they like, now are you sure this is all the documents? And he had his lawyer say, we guarantee you, we give you our word. That's all the documents. We gonna sign this legal paper saying you got all the documents. Then they looked through the documents and they said, bruh, you still got some documents. And he like, I ain't got no documents. And they like, yes, you do. And he like, well, make me want to give you the documents. And they like, we ain't going through this no more. FBI, go get them damn documents. And the whole time, allegedly, he telling people like, hey, yo, bro, I got these documents, man. Ain't nobody supposed to have this. No, bro, I got that stuff. Ain't nobody allowed to have, but I got it. You want to see it? They say that he was potentially showing people classified documents and that he was sharing secrets. Like, hey, bruh, you want to see what they gonna do to Iran? Here, look, this is what they got. Like, what? I didn't even know that existed. Yeah, bro, we got that shit. Told you, I was the president, man. This is stuff that ain't nobody allowed to know. And they like, bruh, that's espionage. You can't be sharing our secrets just with people at your hotel. You can't do that. And he like, I kind of can. And they like, no, you can't. So my understanding is that's all the stuff that's going to get him in trouble. Like up to you got documents and we want them, he'd have probably been cool. He'd have probably been cool if he'd have just said, oh, what, for real? I'm not allowed to have these? My bad. Here, take them. He'd have probably been cool. What? You telling me? The George Costanza defense would have probably worked if he'd have used it initially. What's the George Costanza defense? I'm sorry. Are you telling me that that's frowned upon? That's not allowed? I'm going to have to plead ignorance. If I would have known that that wasn't allowed, I wouldn't have done it. And then they would have just said, all right, give us the documents. And he'd have said, there you go. My bad. And they'd have said, it's all good, bro. It's all good. And that'd have been the end of it. That's kind of what Joe Biden did. That's what Joe Biden did. See, that's the difference, Ben. Joe said, hold on, all this stuff going on about documents, let me go look in the garage. I got some boxes in there. Joe opened up the box and said, ooh, damn, documents. Hey, FBI, I got some documents. Yeah, I found them. They was over here by the car. Come and get them. That's totally different. That's totally different. So, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all like to try to conflate the two. Even Mike Pence. Mike Pence was like, man, I guarantee you I ain't got no documents. What? They found some documents with Biden? Man, I ain't got no documents. But, just in case, let me go look in the library. What? Documents. Hey, FBI, I got some documents. Y'all better come and get them. All right, we'll come and get them. Boom. See, they both handled it different. It wasn't like a year of make me want to give them to you, you know. So that's hugely different. That's hugely different. So to answer your question, should him and Biden be cellmates? I'm sure Biden has did probably many things in his years that he should probably go to jail for, but we don't know. So in terms of the document thing, no. Ben says, so Biden volunteered his documents is what you've been made to believe. That's the story that has been presented to us. Yes. Now, have you been told a different story? Have you been told that Biden was refusing to give back the documents? Have you been told that Biden was telling people what's in the documents? Have you been told that, anything different? I'm open to listening to other theories. Right, Brent. And according to the FBI, or according to reports, the FBI say they still ain't got all the documents. What is it? I can't think of the I'm gonna call it the organization that gets all the documents. What is the organization that gets all the documents? That's supposed to get all the presidential record documents. I hate when I don't remember simple stuff like this. But y'all know what I'm talking about. There's an archive organization that's supposed to get all of these documents. And they're basically saying, like, look, we got some documents, but we still think we missing some stuff. Ben says, I never heard a story of him volunteering documents until now. Then how did you think that they got the documents from Biden and from Pence? They found the documents and then they told the FBI, come on in. I got some documents here. As a matter of fact, search and see if y'all find any more. Pence and Biden, the story is, and if this is the first time you've heard it, where you been? Pence and Biden both said, we found some stuff, or their people found some stuff, and they called and said, come and get it. Yeah. And really, for real, that's the first you hearing of that. Then what did you hear? And I'm just curious because I don't necessarily listen to the same outlets apparently that you listen to get information. So what was the other story? Like you realize that they did get documents from Vice President. He was the Vice President when apparently he took the documents, but President at the time that they found them, and Vice President Pence. How were you led to believe that the FBI found out about their documents and retrieved them? Were you led to believe that there was some secret middle of the night raid on them as well? I'm really curious. Because I hadn't heard anything different. And you know that there are alternative facts out there. So I'm curious as to what's the alternative story that's been floated. Hold on, let me guess. And this is just a guess. I'm just guessing. I could be wrong, so I'm just guessing. They found him in Hunter Biden's laptop. Is that the story you heard? He had the classified documents on Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, Ben says, I never heard anything. Oh. Really? How could you? Okay. Hey, look, maybe you went on vacation and you took a hiatus from watching the news for that month. So that's possible. That's possible. But yeah, so should they be in the same cell? Maybe for other reasons. Maybe for other reasons. And look, don't get me wrong. I don't think any of these, or most of these politicians are like honest, straight shooters. I don't. I believe just about all of them. Like some of them are new. Like, for example, Greg Landsman. And I know Greg Landsman to the extent that, I've talked to him a number of times. He did a show at the station and we would have conversations and all that kind of stuff. Greg Landsman seems like a good dude. He seems like an honest, honorable guy, like a good dad, and care about education and people and community. He's new up there, 4 or 5 months. But so that's why I'm saying almost all of them in 4 or 5 months. How corrupt could he have been? I don't know how corrupt he was here. I don't believe he was corrupt. I did ask him once. He kind of took offense to it. But I did ask him once, like, bruh, we not going to hear no story about you getting arrested for taking no bribes and stuff, are we? And he was like, why would you ask me that? And I'm like, because 3 people just got arrested for taking bribes and stuff. What do you mean? Why would I ask you that? But, he was like, no, I took his word for it. And he didn't get arrested. So I believe him to be, for the most part, an honest dude. I don't know what 4 or 5 months in Washington getting lobbied and all of that kind of stuff do to a man. I don't know. So for all I know, and I'm not saying that he is, but for all I know, by now he could be knee deep in corruption. And then very shortly, he not just knee deep, he was totally deep. But I don't know. I don't believe, though, that the majority of the people doing things in Washington are like on the straight and narrow, on the up and up. And even if they are when they get there, I believe that there's enough money floating around and ways to get around doing anything, taking that money seeming illegal. So I believe that just being up there after a certain amount of time potentially could make you corrupt. Even if just corrupt in terms of you let outside influences influence how you vote for either your own influence or your own financial gain. I believe that. I don't believe it's just a Republican thing. I believe it's a all of them thing. But some of them are maybe a little more and some a lot more than others. Ben wants to know, isn't initially taking the documents illegal? Not necessarily, based on my understanding. Based on my understanding, not necessarily. Like, say I'm the vice president and I have clearance to view certain documents. And, I take some to my office at the house. I have clearance to do this. So just me taking them, I might have been given clearance to do that. Just taking the documents it's not necessarily. And again, this is my understanding. I'm not a lawyer, definitely not a expert on handling of classified documents. But my understanding is it happens a lot where people take them. It just doesn't happen a lot where people refuse to give them back. And then lie about having given them back. And then share the information that's in them with people who aren't authorized to know that information. And then share like state military secrets with people who are not authorized to know that information. It's like, could you just do one thing wrong? Like, really, you just got to keep piling stuff on top of stuff. So if it was legal, why did he have to give them back? Stop capping for Biden. No, it was legal for him to have them at that point. But at some point, you got to give them back. Like, just because, let me try to put it like this, right? So say we work for a company, right? And we got this research that we're doing about this top secret project that we're about to put out. Like, we about to put out an elixir that grows your genitals kind of exponentially and allows you to, go for 3 straight hours. But we got all the kind of research and stuff that we looking at. And you one of the researchers, Ben. And so you taking some of the stuff home. And nobody else is supposed to see this stuff. It's top secret. So you take some home. Well, then, you either quit or you lose your job. Now, you didn't violate any rules taking it home, but you ain't got no job here no more. We want our documents back. So, yeah, you're supposed to give us our documents back. So it's not against the law for you to have them, but when it's time for you to give them back, you got to give them back. Or, okay, we finished with that project. We scrapped it. We decided, you know what I'm saying? Nobody should be doing it for 3 hours straight. It's cruel and unusual punishment on a woman. So we scrapping this project. Give us the documents back, Ben. And then Ben like, I'm not giving you no documents. Make me want to give them back. But no, you give them back. You was okay having them when it was okay to have them, but it's not okay to have them anymore. give them back. So it was legal for them to have them when he had them. But at some point, he was supposed to give them back. Now, he didn't. But say you honorable, Ben. And so you know what I'm saying, you lose your job or we take you off that project or whatever. And we not thinking about the documents because we got copies of them. And so you're not thinking about them either. You off the project. And then you know, around in your office one day and you like, oh my goodness, this is the 3-hour session documents. So then you call me like, yo, Emanuel, you remember that project we was working on about the 3 hours where you putting it on her for 3 straight hours? You know, I still got some of them documents. I'm like, all right, well, you want me to come and get them or you gonna bring them back? And you like, you should probably send somebody over to get them. So then I send somebody over and they get the documents and everything is cool. Nobody will ever know that we was trying to make men last for 3 hours, just punishing women. Nobody will ever know that. See the difference? But then if you like, oh, I got these documents, you know, I took them. Like, man, you can't have them documents, bruh. I'm keeping the documents. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell a few people what we was working on. Like, you can't do that. Matter of fact, I think I got the formula in here. You can't share the formula. Too late. I already told it to my cousin. You wrong. See, now you Trump. I can't believe you don't understand this. Like, this ain't that hard, bruh. This ain't that hard. It's illegal to have them, period. No, it wasn't illegal to have them, period. How do you not understand this? Really? And you're supposed to be like a smart, politically savvy dude. It's not. It wasn't. It was wrong to keep them. But then when they found them, they turned them in. That's the difference. Come on, man. This ain't hard. It would be if we came up with that elixir. But no, this stuff ain't hard, man. This stuff ain't hard. I can't believe you genuinely don't understand this. Or are you, as you say, just capping for Trump? Ben says, I understand what you're saying, but why now? Bruh. See, this is the kind of stuff that frustrate people. And they be like, Emanuel, why you be repeating yourself so many times? Because you always got a Ben in the audience who it's like stuff don't seep in until like the 5th time you say it. And then they be like, oh, you should have just said that. You're like, I said it 4 times before now. Bruh, you understand what I'm saying, but they had all this information. You apparently don't understand what I'm saying. They've been negotiating with this man since they realized that he had those documents. He turned some in, but he kept some. And then he lied about not having any or having turned the rest of them in. So yes, they've been trying to work with him for all this time. And then they finally had to say, like, okay, let me take it back to the elixir. So now you got the documents and you done told your cousin them and y'all got the formula and all of that kind of stuff, but you still won't give us back our documents. So finally I had to say, Evan, Lenny, we going over to Ben's house and we getting them documents. Otherwise, you do what you do. So me and Lenny come over to your house and Lenny like, where the documents, nigga? And you're like, they over there. My bad. Thank you. And me and Lenny leave. But me and Lenny should have never had to come over to your house to get the documents. Because when we told you, like, bro, you got some documents you ain't got no business having, you should have just been like, oh, my bad, come and get them. So, yeah, we knew the whole year we was trying to get the documents back, but finally I had to settle and call Lenny and say, nigga, get your boys. Let's go get these documents. That's the difference. Yes, they had the information the whole time, but they was trying to work with this fool. Come on, how are you not understanding this? Oh, you apologize. You were referring to the charges for having the documents. Oh, okay. I don't think he's necessarily just being, that's what I'm trying to explain. He's not necessarily being charged with taking them. It's all the other stuff surrounding them. If he would have just did what Pence did or did what Biden did and said, oh, I'm not supposed to have these. Can y'all send somebody to get them? It wouldn't have been no big deal. It wouldn't have been no big deal. Brent say, how about a library book analogy? You check out some books, they're due back in 30 days. 60 days pass, and we asked for our book back, and you only gave a couple. 90 days pass, and you still haven't returned all the books you checked out. Now, look, I keep telling you, this is what was reported. This is the story that's out there, which apparently you didn't hear any of this, which boggles my mind that you've been paying any attention and you didn't hear all of this. But I don't know how much of this is necessarily true and how much of it is story and made up. I kind of believe it, but I kind of believe it because Trump strikes me as that kind of guy. He strikes me as that he don't care. He feel like he can break the rules, break the laws, and ain't nothing gonna happen to him. But, I mean, he'll get his chance in court. Which, again, we know ain't always fair. But look, they've been telling us for how many years? That the legal system is the best we got. And once it go through the legal system to live with the results, they've been telling us that for years. We've been telling them for years the legal system is corrupt. The legal system is corrupt. They've been telling us it's the best we got, just deal with it. So if he get charged, it's the best we got, just deal with it. If he get convicted, it's the best we got, just deal with it. And we run around talking about it's corrupt. But y'all know that's what they'll do. It's just like with drugs. Crack, you was just a crackhead, send them to jail for life. Heroin, they got a disease and they need treatment. Like what? Wasn't crack a disease? Well, okay, now we realize that crack was a disease too. And, we shouldn't have done that. Okay, can you undo it? Well, no. They already in jail. They fine. But we're not going to do it no more. The same thing that's going to happen here. But Trump was convicted, but that's wrong. The legal system is messed up. What do you mean? Hold on. But we've been telling y'all for how long the legal system was messed up? Well, now we see what you were saying, and we should fix it, starting with Trump. If you know it's not fair, then no, you don't accept an unfair verdict. Then just with Trump, we should no. How about we fix it after Trump? Now that we all realize this is bad. Fix it moving forward, not backwards. Or if we're going to fix it with Trump, let's go backwards and fix it with everybody up in there. Well, that's different. It's different. Y'all know that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's already what's happening. Now the Republicans want to defund the police. Remember when defunding the police was a bad thing? Remember that? And, some black people were saying defund the police, and then other black people were saying, we shouldn't be saying defund the police. It don't look good. You can't get elected saying defund the police. Stop saying defund the police. Now the Republicans are saying, we need to defund the FBI. They're the police. We need to defund the FBI. We need to take some of their money away, and then that way they'll start acting right. Hold on, wait a minute. Now defund the police is okay to say? Where's them same black people who were saying, y'all need to stop saying defund the police? That's a bad thing to say. You can't get elected saying defund the police. Almost every Republican now is saying defund the FBI. They're weaponizing the Justice Department. They all saying it now. Oh, when black people were saying it, it was bad. When white people say it, it magically is like Trump. I just think it. And it's declassified. It's white people. They just think it, and then it becomes acceptable. Black people say it for years. White people think it, and it just becomes acceptable because they thought it. Y'all need to stop saying defund the police. Y'all need to stop saying defund the police. You can't get elected saying defund the police. Y'all gonna lose a lot of Democrats, a lot of elections saying defund the police. That's not a winning strategy. Defund the police. White people, defund the police. Hey, they're onto something. Changed your mind real quick. And nobody think about it. Like, hold on, they are really talking about defunding the police because Trump got in trouble. When black people was getting their neck kneeled on for 9 minutes, defunding the police was bad. When black people was getting shot, taser, 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 bang. Oops. Defund the police was bad. When black people was getting shot, bust into their house in the middle of the night, and you defending yourself and your girlfriend get killed, defund the police was horrible. Trump get indicted. Defund the police. Oh, what changed? What changed? Oh, who the police was going after in your mind changed. The FBI went after somebody I like. Ain't like they didn't kill him or nothing. Not that I want them to, because I don't. But they didn't kill him or nothing. He just got indicted. And that was on some state stuff. Well, he's being investigated and they raided his house. Wait a minute. So being investigated by the FBI and having your house raided is enough for you to say defund them? He didn't get shot. Ain't nobody kneel on his neck. He wasn't beaten. Tasered too many times. None of that. They investigated him. Defund the police. Weaponized. The police been weaponized against black people for how long? The FBI been weaponized against black people for how long? Can you say Martin Luther King? But now it's weaponized. Malcolm X, but now it's weaponized. Now it's weaponized. So we comfortable with weaponizing the FBI as long as they're being weaponized against people we don't like. Come on, y'all. This stuff isn't, and it's so plain, like in front of our face. The only people apparently who don't see it is Ben, because he been on vacation missing the news about the simple stuff. He didn't know that Joe Biden called the FBI and that they turned the documents in. He didn't hear nothing about that. Ben, just curious. Have you ever heard that the FBI surveilled Martin Luther King back in the day? Did you hear that? Did you know that? Because you might not have known. I'm just asking. I don't know. Did you hear that they surveilled Malcolm X back in the day? Did you hear that? I'm just curious. I don't know if you knew this stuff. I don't know if you knew. Sometimes you miss the news. They're covering up for the Biden crime family and won't investigate them. So defund them. because they've never covered for anybody else. Oh boy. It's so plain. It's so in your face. So in your face. All right, y'all. My time is up. I got to get ready, get out of here. I appreciate y'all coming back. I apologize for being gone for so long. But y'all know last week, well, y'all don't know, but last week was just a disaster of a week for this. I just had so much stuff that I had to do. But I have every intention on being back the rest of this week. I intended on being back yesterday. Something came up. And if something comes up tomorrow, but I intend on being here tomorrow. So just keep looking. Keep checking for me. And keep looking for the shirts. You'll just see me with it on. And then I'll let y'all know how y'all can get y'all hands on them as well. But all right. Got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all. Until the next time, I hope you have an amazing rest of the evening. And I really do hope something life-changing happens to you. Play the lottery. The lottery guru told y'all what to play. Play the lottery. Win some money. Until next time, it's been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston, and I am out, y'all. Peace.